Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Carter Ruthwish, president of iWeb Profit, and by now we've really shown some people some advanced stuff that can really help transform your business. So these days it is best for you to build your business in a digital world. I talked to all the experts around town and many of the people who also obviously shop and clients and customers and just about everything in between, but all the resources and data say the internet is catching on. So let's talk about it real quickly and show you a little bit about how the most advanced way you can provide new business for your business and how that's taking effect these days. I'm going to make this full screen. A shortcut to do so is F11. So you see here is a tracking keywords versus untracked keywords spreadsheet that'll help us to analyze the difference between the two. We'll try to make it fairly simple. We did this the other day with a client and it's really made sense to them, so we figured we'd do it this way for you guys also. Basic math. So effectively every month for the average small business, it's not a whole lot to imagine. They do get about 1,500 or so visits to their local website for a small business in a city, say the size of St. Louis or Chicago or whatever. So when you get 1,500 visits, though, the key is what visits are you trying to attract, because that's really what differentiates your success or your failure. Most SEO companies these days are going after 1,500 visits for some rather innocuous keywords that don't convert, or they show you where you rank really well for some keywords that nobody actually searches for. But Google has this figured out. It is really worth doing the paid advertising. I've done it all. I've done SEO, I've done PPC, I've done everything else in between. Mail campaigns, you name it. Worked for the King of Beers for over 10 years in their electronic communications, setting up and managing quite a bit of these kinds of campaigns we did for big national brands that you know very well. And what it amounts to is you have to track what works and cut out what does not. Still to this day, most of these SEO companies, internet marketing companies, don't want you to know that. They show you where you rank on page 1 for financial expert St. Charles or something like that, and come to find out nobody actually ever visits their website. But they don't show you that. They just show you where you ranked on page 1 for that innocuous non-searched keyword, and you were proud of that without ever tracking it to find out, oh wow, we don't actually get any visits from that. As a matter of fact, what's more important, how do we even get any actual leads from that? And we can even talk about some advanced things that show you what sales you can track that you got offline from online business. So with that in mind, let's talk a little about it. So we got back to our 1,500 or so visits per month on the tracked service, but these guys have now figured out what keywords to show up for, and they're getting visits from keywords that convert at a higher rate. We'll show you the difference there versus another competitor that has 1,500 visits from a random list of keywords that their SEO guy says, oh, we're getting all these awesome keywords that come to your website. Oh, by the way, most of the time it's for your name, but I don't want you to realize all this other work we did for you doesn't amount to anything. Watch out for that. I have one of my clients who claims that SEO is the modern day snake oil, smoke and mirrors. So be careful. Make sure they show you what's not just bringing you visits, which many times they won't show you, because you'll find out it's often just your name, which I hope you get visits for your name of your business, but they won't show you how many visits actually turn into phone calls. So let's do a little comparison here. Effectively, I don't care whether you're doing this through paid advertising or you're doing it through SEO, you're paying for each visit. If you spend $1,000 a month to get 1,000 visits to your website by paying somebody to do the SEO, then you're effectively paying $1 a visit versus just paying Google $1 per visit to have related keywords come to your website. You're probably going to find the paid advertising works more effectively because you get more broad terms. Financial expert versus financial expert St. Charles, you can imagine which one gets a lot more targeted traffic, many more visits. and you can focus those paid advertisements that you can only get for marketing expert or financial expert without the St. Louis or St. Charles on the end to a specific region by doing so. So effectively, let's say we're spending an average of, in this case, $2.75 per visit. Both sites getting 1,500 visits. That's going to give you about $4,100 in cost per month. This is where the real difference kicks in. Tracking what keywords to tell your SEO, internet marketing expert, to go after. If I've got 1,500 visits, but only 3% of the time the average is for those keywords to turn into leads, then I'm going after a lot of the wrong keywords. I need to focus on keywords that convert at a much higher rate, especially if I'm going to pay for it. So, if you get 15% conversion, which is a minimum of what you should get once you've actually tracked this and removed the non-converting keywords and filled them with the higher converting keywords, then a 15% conversion from visit to lead is pretty basic. It's about the internet average for companies who do this effectively. Of that, then, obviously, you've got a total of 1,500 visits. 15% of that is 225 leads. So if you've got 225 leads, what percentage of those do you close? Now people say, oh, I close 90%, I close 100%. Well, internet leads do tend to be a little bit more shoppers. They're researching a little bit more. But if you can just average a 20% close rate on either side here, now you can see where 20% of 225 leads at $500 profit per sale in this scenario means you're going to make a gross profit of $22,500 and a net profit, because you spent $4,125 to bring those visits, of $18,000 a month. This gets you an average cost per lead of about $18 or a cost per sale of about $91. Skip over here to the right side again. $1,500 to $275, a total cost of $4,125. But if we're getting only 3%, because we're not tracking what keywords we should actually be going after, we're not tracking what keywords are converting into form submissions, leads, emails, and good quality business. We're only going after the broad stuff, and just we know we've got a bunch of visits. We don't even know what keywords are actually causing those visits, and even more importantly, we don't know what keywords are converting into leads. Very, very important. So if I've got 3% of them, which is 1/5 of what I've got over here, I end up with only 45 leads. I still close the same 20%, but now I've only closed 9 deals. At the same profit margin of $500 per closed deal, now I've got a gross profit of $4,500 and a net profit after expenses of $375. Now you know why so many people say this internet stuff doesn't work. It's because you're not tracking it. It is the only medium, the only type of marketing out there where you can so very specifically track everything that happens. You just got to do it. We've developed the tools that do that. We've got some really advanced stuff we've been doing now for years, and it will nail down all of that kind of data for you so that you know what's bringing you visits and, more importantly, what's bringing you leads. Over here, then, you end up with a cost of $91.67 cost per lead, and you're barely breaking even, because here you're making $458 per, where you're spending that much to get a closed deal when you only make $500 on the deal. So that ends up being a difference of about $18,000. My total here was $18,375. I made $375 over here. I make an increase. I've increased my profit per month simply by tracking what keywords to go after and what keywords to not, and bumping that up from an average where if you just throw money at it, you will get about 3% of your visits turn to leads, versus tracking and only going after the keywords that convert at 15%. Turns into an $18,000 difference per month in this scenario, given a $500 profit margin and the numbers we're using for our average cost per visits. These numbers are not out of line with just about any industry. They vary from different industry to industry: cars, mortgages, finance, home building, decks, remodeling, you name it. Everything is searched on the internet. There's a cost per lead, there's a cost per click associated with everything out there. We track that and nail it down for you. Is it worth having our advanced tracking? Well, you tell us, because again, you just take that 18,000 per month. It does take us 2 to 3 months to get this nailed down for you, because we've got to collect the data, we've got to track exactly what's working for you. But every month after that, then we just get better and better, nailing down and finding more. But if you just stay at that same average of $18,000, because you've got 15% of your leads visits converted into leads instead of 3, over 12 months, the next 12 months, you'd have $216,000 extra in your pocket, and you've spent the same amount of money every month. So yes, it's definitely worth it. Look us up. Again, my name is Carter Rethwish, iWebProfit.com. Go to our website. We've got an 800 number on the site, but for the locals here around town, where we're going to really help out initially here, we do have clients from around the country, but you can get us a hold of us here locally, 636-565-0305. We look forward to helping you, and great success to your business. Thank you.